Hi guys, happy Monday. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. I worked a lot on some projects. I did record my mantra for the morning, my affirmations to Rising Appalachia, and I made a video, but I'm just not sure about putting it up because I just don't want to. I'm not so much worried about the copyright strike as I don't want them to be upset that I use their music. So I'm not sure how to reach out to them, but I'm going to try to reach out to them to get permission. And hopefully that will make a difference. YouTube says I can get permission. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to try to get permission to put that up for you guys. And I'll think on it a little harder if I can't reach them about how to do that, so that I'm honoring them. Of course, I will obviously note that it's from them, and I'll link the video to their music. But so I'm working on that. I also did some energy of the week, which I'm going to try to do at the end of every week rather than doing like pulling a card to do the energy of the week wrap up style. I am doing a video that has all the decks and crystals that were used during the week, and then it has a little video with some music that I picked out from an online site that I absolutely love. So I'll probably use the same music for every one of them, but it has a little music and it shows all the cards that I used. Shows all the cards that I used, and I think it's a nice way to kind of end the week and just kind of go back over what each of the cards had to say without getting into too much depth. Clearing the space, a little Palo Santo for you, little Palo Santo for me. All right. Today, I have pulled 3 decks. One deck is really different from the rest as far as this little group of cards that I was drawn to pull. And just so you guys know, when I say I was drawn to or pointed towards, or however I might state that I get the cards, I use a pendulum to pick out my cards. I have them on a shelf. It helps me choose which cards are best for the day, and then I go from there. So I have a bunch of different pendulums. I'll start showing you guys them. This is the one that I used for today. Little amethyst girl. And so for today, we are going to use 3 decks. The first deck we're going to use is called the Empath Empowerment deck. And this is the one I was talking about being a little different. I normally only use this deck for myself. I have never been called to use this deck for anyone other than myself. So I found it really interesting that it wanted me to use this deck. I'm not sure if there's something in here that I need to hear and it doesn't want me to miss it because I'm focused on reading for the collective instead of just for myself. But either it's something that I have to hear or need to hear, or maybe there's somebody out there that is an empath that struggles with taking on energies of other people around you. So if that's you, maybe this card, the cards that I pull from that deck might be for you. The next deck I'm going to use is called the Rebel deck. And this deck, it says it's a quick and dirty and direct read, basically. These cards are pretty snarky, but they're pretty fun also. I'm going to hold this up one more time for you guys so you can read that. 0 filter, 0 Fs, all fun. And then finally, we have the Prism deck. The Prism Oracle is based on colors and feelings, and this one has an online book that goes with it that I have up on my computer. So when I pull the cards, I will read what the computer book has to say. We're going to start with the Empath Empowerment deck. Today I put on this blue lapis lazuli. I need to learn the names of all my crystals because I don't always say the names of them. Sometimes I just don't know, and sometimes I just don't say them. So that one had that one, and then I went to put this necklace on today, and this came off of the necklace. So I have also put that on top of this deck. So let's get started. I probably could have been shuffling while I was talking. You guys know how that goes. Someday I'll be super structured when I do this. I hope not. I hope to never be structured. I prefer to be authentic and real and share the mess ups. The only thing you'll ever see me cut out of this is possibly having to get off my chair to get the cards if they fall, or if I sneeze. I tend to mute my clearing my throats and things like that, but everything else I leave in because I just feel like it's part of the reading. It's part of the energy. All right. Let's see what we get. These cards are huge. As you can see, I can barely hold them. So they just barely fit into my little tiny hands. So what messages do you have for us empaths out here who are needing to be reminded to not take on energy of others? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I'm going to stop because I don't want those to follow. I mean to fall on the ground. All right. We're just going to go with those two cards. Two cards came out. This one was on the top. Healing your inner child. Isn't she precious? What a precious baby. This says, focus on your inner child's needs. Is your inner child afraid or in need of more playtime? Cherish this precious being with you. And I know that for me, as I've become an adult, I've really lost my link to my child self. Sometimes I find it hard to believe I ever was a child. I think when it says to focus on the needs of the child, it means, focus on being secure in your surroundings, in your life, in yourself. I think it means to be playful and imaginative. Maybe some of you out there spend too much time in adult world and focusing on all the challenges and the hard things and making life work, and maybe it's time for some play. Our readings have been talking about that rest, relaxation, finding your bliss, which means to be happy. And I think that children can be the most blissful because they don't live in adult world with adult worries like the rest of us do. And I think maybe sometimes we just need to take some time to be more childlike and just enjoy the magic that's around us and see more of the magic that's around us. Kids can find joy in the smallest things, and maybe we're being called to notice the little things a little bit more. All right, next we have enjoy the tranquility of water. And I find this to be super interesting because when I made my video yesterday of my mantra, I had a hard time deciding what kind of video theme do I want? What kind of images do I want? And I chose moving water. Almost the entire video is rivers and waterfalls, and then eventually it gets to the ocean, and then eventually it ends with the stars and the sky. But it's literally almost 7 minutes of different types of moving water. And I used moving water because my mantra is that I will allow emotions to flow through me in and out like a river, never pooling. Because pooled water can become stagnant, and river water is constantly re-cleansing and moving and flowing away. And so I find that super interesting that this card came out. This says, to remove stress, immerse yourself in a soothing bath, walk near a body of water, or gently splash water on your face. Maybe you should honor your inner child and get some squirt guns and have a squirt gun fight. That would bring out the inner child, and it would also remove some stress because I'm sure it would be playful and lots of laughter. So maybe somebody out there needs to get some squirt guns, or get out the squirt guns, or get your kids squirt guns, or whatever the case may be, and have a little fun. All right, moving on. The next deck is the Rebel deck. And today I put this crystal on there. Just a clear quartz. And these cards, the deck didn't really show what they look like, but they're kind of like that. They say one thing on the front, and then they have a little saying on the back. And like I said, these cards are kind of snarky. They like to, like my But You Got This deck, like to use the profane words. I don't like the word profane words. I don't like the word naughty words. I don't like the word bad words, because I don't think that they're any of those things. I don't even know that I like to call them curse words, because curse indicates that you're putting a curse. And as we know, words are spells. That's why they call it spelling. And so I'd like to find a new way. Explicitives. This deck use a lot of explicitives. So let's see what explicitives it has for us today. This deck shuffle is really nice. These cards fit in my hand really well, and they're nice and slippery, so they just... Well then, we had 3 cards flip out here pretty strongly. So let me grab those. All right. Interested to see what these are going to say. Okay, sorry. I don't mean to read ahead, but they're funny. So, I'm not sure what order these are supposed to be in, but we're just going to go with this. So the first card we've got is Detox. And this card says, drink a smoothie, unfriend that asshole, and throw some shit out. So, sounds like somebody out there might need to rethink a friendship or relationship that they have, or possibly this card is about removing clutter from your life. Clutter can be things, but I think clutter can also be people. If you have a bunch of people in your life that, or one person in your life that is creating havoc or messing with your vibes, or is constantly bad energy or negative energy, or whatever the case may be, it might be time to clean out your friends list. Maybe on social media, you need to clean out your friends list. maybe you actually need to clean out your life or your home. Maybe some of you, like me, like to hold on to things for a long time and have a hard time purging and getting rid of things. And I know that can be really good for the energy, to clear the energy, to get rid of things that are stagnant and old. So that might be something I need to look into as well. Might be time to do some spring cleaning since we are just now hitting spring. All right, next up, out of the Rebel deck, we have the Rebel card. And this card says, because fuck it. Fuck it. Get that old shit out of your life. Get that asshole out of your life, because fuck it. You don't need that shit around. All right. Next. Okay. You look like a shit show. You're a hot mess, fact. Clean yourself up. Well then, they did say that these cards were quick and dirty, and that is definitely quick and dirty. So I think these two, I think detox, I think these two go together. And I forgot that this has meanings on the computer, so I will look them up. We've got two, I believe these are orange cards. Yes. And a purple card. So this reading's going to be long today. So let me find orange. Orange combines the fiery energy of red with the optimism of yellow. Like a sunrise signaling a new day or a burst of citrus, it can elicit feelings of warmth, happiness, and high energy. As a friendly, playful hue, orange can give off a sense of joy when worn. Like red, orange is a stimulating color. In fact, it is sometimes used in fast food restaurants as a device to keep people moving. Working with the orange and color magic can help curb procrastination, giving you a boost of energy in order to move forward with your goals. So, lots of orange. Maybe some of you need to wear orange, put on a little orange bracelet or some sort of necklace or earrings or something, maybe clothing. Maybe there's something orange in your surroundings that will stand out to you. Take note of that. Let's see if this... I didn't really give me all of the cards. It only gives me a few, so I guess that's good. We won't be reading them all. That's crazy. It doesn't give all of them. I haven't looked at this. I haven't used this deck a lot. So, oh, that's because that's the wrong deck. Okay, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But interesting enough, maybe that's something that we needed to hear and I didn't know it, because this book is actually for the next deck that we're supposed to use. So that makes a lot more sense. But it also, this is a purple card, and it does say purple cards come up in a reading. It's a signal that you're in the process of creating a deeper relationship with your intuition, higher self, or higher source. Embrace this energy and newfound connection, but remember to stay grounded and in touch with your body too, through acts of creativity or reconnection with the earth. So purple and orange came out in that deck, but they do not go with what I was reading specifically. That's so funny. I guess maybe I needed to look at that because hopefully that makes sense to somebody out there, even though technically those colors don't go with the Rebel deck. They go with this one. And this is what it looks like on the outside. It's really pretty. So these are the ones that go with the colors. And that's probably why those cards weren't showing up in the description, because they're not part of this deck. So I don't know if I knocked on those. I like to knock on the cards 3 times to clear the energy of the cards before I shuffle. So let's see here. What do we got? What colors do we have today? It'd be funny if we got orange and purple again, huh? It would save me from having to read more. Oh, I'm not going to take those because it's 5 cards. And I feel like they're slippery, so they just slipped out. But if we're meant to see them, they will come back out again. Oh, I tried to keep it from falling on the floor. See, I manifested that when I said at the beginning of this reading that I would only edit out when cards fall on the floor. So I will have to grab that. All right, we're going to try one more just in case. All right. Let me grab that card. All right, back in my chairs. So I did actually get 3 cards. There were 2 on the floor, which I didn't realize. And again, not particularly sure which order these go in or if it even matters. But the first card that I'm seeing is red, and it says anger. So I'm going to go ahead and look that up because honestly, I don't have anything just jumping to my mind about that right this second. Red is the most primal and attention-grabbing of all colors. It is a pure color in that no other colors can be combined to create it. It's correlated with the root energy center of the body, which is connected to the grounding and survival. Red is often associated with excitement, strength, lust, anger, and aggression. Some studies have shown that wearing red may increase your chance of winning when playing sports. As the color of blood, deep crimson red is also often associated with pain. Astrologically, red is associated with Mars, the red planet, which owes its name to the Roman god of war. Where Mars falls in your astrology chart can determine how you react during conflicts. So I don't know if any of you have done your chart, your astrology chart. There's different types of astrology. You can go online and have a chart cast for you, or you can find an astrologer who does that kind of things. Janessa does that on YouTube. You might be able to contact her if she's somebody that you watch. Maybe ask her about that, or have her cast your chart, or look up your chart and then maybe ask her about the Mars part of it. But let's see, what does anger have to say? This card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. It's okay to feel angry, but what can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it? How can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself or others? My first thought when I read that was, it made me think of the lawsuit for It Ends With Us. That is something that I have followed for the last year. I know many of you who watch me also follow that. That's how I know you. But for those of you who don't, it's a lawsuit in Hollywood, and it deals with power dynamics, rich power dynamics and Hollywood power dynamics and bullying and taking advantage and lots of things that for me personally created a lot of anger in me over the last year. I would wake up angry every day because I knew it was going to be something else that was going to be going on. And it eventually, after a year and starting this new year, became too much for me living in that anger. So I decided to change up my energy and focus on other things. But I've been trying to find a way to transform my anger about the annoyances with that case into something a little bit lighter, a way to energetically come at the situation in a more, I want to say positive way. Hard to find a positive way to come at something that makes you angry, but if you can transmute your anger into something better, that's always a good idea. So if there's something that you guys are dealing with that has you angry, know that it's okay to be angry. It's part of who we are as humans to have those feelings. It's part of your shadow side. Feel it, acknowledge it, but try not to live in it. Living in it is where it becomes dangerous and will start to pull you down. And I did notice that starting to happen with me, that my anger was facilitating negative energy, which was bringing in a lot of negative energy just in my life in general. So it's time to transmute that anger into something better and use the energy that it gives you to do something that is either more positive or productive or whatever the case may be. Next, we have green, which I love. Balance. Green and purple are my favorite colors. I also love a blues, but let's see what it says about green. Green is the color of relaxation, bounty, and even love. As the color correlated with the heart energy center, or the heart chakra, it can represent love. Also, on the flip side of that, jealousy. In color magic, green is often used as a supportive color for enhancing feelings of calm and restoration. It is also literally easy on the eyes, and as it's the easiest color for us to see on the visible spectrum. Green is also tied to nature and growth. After all, what makes plants green is chlorophyll. It is also what allows them to convert energy from the sun into new life. Convert this energy into balance. Use this green, calm, restoring card and love to temper this anger, to transmute it. Lastly, my favorite color, if you didn't know already, purple. Intuition. I'm excited. Okay. Purple. Purple is often associated with royalty and wealth, as well as mystery, spiritual awareness, and mysticism. It has the shortest light wavelength, and it is tied to both the crown and the third eye centers, located at the top of the head. The crown energy center, which is represented by violet, allows us to connect to a higher level of awareness. The third eye is said to be where one can make intuitive or psychic downloads, as it sees what is not present to the naked eye. In witchcraft, purple is a wonderful color to surround yourself with when you're working or cultivating your creativity or enhancing intuitive abilities. Well, that's perfect because I've been using purple for my creativity. And so that works out well. So listen, transmute this with this, and then use this to move forward, right? So Let's see. What does intuition say? Intuition is an inner knowing that we all possess. Society encourages us to ignore the deep knowledge that sits within us and asks us to use intellect instead. But sometimes intellect alone can't guide you where you need to go. The more you pay attention to your intuition, the stronger it becomes. What is your intuition trying to tell you? Where is it guiding you? I'm going to leave that for you guys to think about. I'm not going to speak too much on that. Intuition is a very personal thing. Just remember that these cards came together like this, I suppose. But actually maybe like this, right? So that's all I have for you today. I hope that resonated with many of you, not just some of you. I know it did resonate with me. And I hope you have a great day. Sending love to you all.